So, hi, my name is
Hi,
Hector.
George.
Really nice to meet you,
Nice to
George.
meet you.
Thank you so much. So, I'm running for city council, and our platform is all about putting community first. We want to ensure that we put people over profit and that we
Okay.
involve our neighbors in the local political process. What's your input and your opinion on the local issues here in Santa Cruz?
To be honest, I'm not as educated as I could be, but I do support Measure M because the people who wrote it are expert urban planners, and I think they've thought out a lot of the possible negative outcomes and kind of written it in a way that would avoid that. And it seems very reasonable to put a limit on stories on buildings when we're talking about you can currently go to 8 feet, you can go to 11 feet in some places, not feet, stories, excuse me, I get that mixed up. But if it was just a free-for-all with the developers, they'd go to 16 feet. We don't want to be San Jose.
Exactly.
We're not trying to be New York or San Jose or San Francisco. This is a small town.
Exactly.
And the building that's going up across from where the credit union used to be on Front Street, that one's a 6-story building. It's big.
Yeah, it's huge.
And all we're asking is that all that Measure M is asking is that we be allowed to vote on whether it goes higher. And, at first I was kind of thinking Measure M, I was going to vote no on it because I thought, oh, well, it's going to discourage development. But then I talked to a bunch of people who are involved in the campaign, and I was convinced by talking with them that that's not a concern. These developments are still going to happen.
Yes.
It's just that the people are going to have a say in anything that's higher than 11 stories. Yeah. And I know a lot of people who are leaving town, who are moving to either Oregon or out to Watsonville or to... a lot of my friends have left. And I'm on the verge of leaving because I can't afford to live here. So, one of the things Measure M does, I know you know this.
Yes.
is it goes from 20... If we voted it in, if we pass it, it'll raise the percentage from 20% to 25% of new developments. 30 units or more would have to be 25%, not 20% affordable. We need that.
Yes.
This house across the street is an Airbnb. Half the houses I counted in this neighborhood are not lived in. They're vacation homes, they're Airbnbs. Meanwhile, I am couch surfing. I used to rent a house. I lived in a house for 17 years near here. So we were all forced out, and we moved here to my friend's house, and it was supposed to be temporary. That was 7 years ago. I have not been able to find an affordable place to live, and I'm still sleeping on my friend's couch after 7 years, and I'm starting to think about moving out of this town. In fact, I'm on the verge of doing that. So for me, this town has become unaffordable, and I am a frontline worker in the sense that I worked on a farm for over 20 years. I've sold produce at farmers markets. I got laid off during the pandemic due to COVID. And now I'm I'm self-employed doing the gig economy, which is what most people have to do, patching together a bunch of different odd jobs to make ends meet. Where do you get the money to buy food, pay for your health insurance, pay for your gas, pay for your cell phone bill, pay for your car insurance, pay for all of the other things in life? Anybody who's working, minimum wage or even slightly above minimum wage job, which is all the essential workers, we can't afford to live here anymore. We can't afford to live here anymore.
And with all these new projects that are going up, and like all those upzoning projects, most of those are luxury, unaffordable housing units.
Right.
And the cheapest is $3,500.
So that's why I'm voting yes on Measure M.
Exactly.
Because I want changes that will allow myself and my peers, who are also people working in either the gig economy or the essential workers, the minimum wage or slightly above, those folks can't afford to live here anymore. Who's going to clean the toilets? Who's going to clean the hotel rooms? Who's going to cook the food? Who's going to pick the food? Who's going to take the food to the farmer's market and sell it? Those people are not making a lot of money. They are not making the kinds of wages that it requires to pay $1,500 a month for a room in a house with 5 other people. Okay,
Exactly.
We're not talking about $1,500 you get a studio apartment. A studio apartment is between $2,000 and $2,500 a month.
Exactly.
How the hell am I going to afford that? And then they say, we only want one person and no pets, and you have to compete with all these people from San Jose who are working at Google or whatever. They're not going to pick me. They want you to have 3 times the income to even apply to rent these apartments. So if you can't prove you're making 3 times whatever, $2,500 a month, you can't even apply.
Exactly.
So it's like, no,
And
I'm being pushed out of this town. I am being forced out of this town. And so, yes, I support raising the amount of affordable housing we have. And I think requiring developers who are frankly in it just for the money to go up from 20% to 25 of 30 units or more of an apartment building or whatever is completely reasonable.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and it's us ensuring that we hold the real estate developers accountable to all the new development going on right now.
Yeah.
Because the developers, they even get around the 20% inclusionary housing rate, and they don't even give us 20%. They use the state density bonus law to give us 13% affordable housing units.
Yeah.
And again, there's a difference between very low income housing and medium income level housing. And the city is currently providing an abundance of market rate, medium income level housing, and leaving us out of the market.
The town, I love the vibe, I love the people, I love the community. That's all going to disappear if this is just these Airbnbs and vacation homes that people come to once in a blue moon, and then they fight. Oh, I don't have a parking space in front of my house. Well, you're not here 360 days out of the year. The 5 days that you're here, you're up butt because you don't have a parking space directly in front of your vacation home. This is what I live with in this neighborhood.
Yes, exactly.
And meanwhile, they go out to a restaurant, they go to the farmer's market, they go to some, concert or whatever. Who are the people that are serving them? Who are the people that are making the food, bringing the food to the table, cleaning the bathroom so that it's not filthy? Where are they living?
Yeah, exactly, friend.
They're moving way out of town, and then everyone's, the freeway's so impacted. Well, maybe if people could afford to live here, they wouldn't have to drive on Highway 1 back and forth to Watsonville or Prunedale or whatever.
Yes.
So, let's get to the root of the problem. It's not a livable wage anymore, and also the housing is so outrageously expensive that you can't bridge that gap without something like Measure M. And thank you, by the way.
Exactly.
I am voting for you.
Thank you so much.
I heard you on the radio.
Yes.
And I've seen your other flyers and now this. And you are right where I'm at politically. So you have my vote.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, friend.
And all my friends are also voting for you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Because we are not the rich.
Yeah, and that's
we are the heart of this community. We are the people who are here year round, who keep this community rolling and moving, and being Santa Cruz.
Yes, exactly. And the one thing that we got to do is that we got to ensure that we stand up to these developers, stand up to these polluters, and we can only do that in comunidad, right? And with our campaign, we're also in solidarity with Measure M. And not only that, but I also work as an essential worker, and I was pushed out of my home previously to this at the flats, not to move into the Seabright area, and I could barely find housing.
You live here?
Yes, I do live here.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I do live here.
Yeah, this is one of the best neighborhoods.
Yeah.
It's also one of the most difficult because it's the most desirable, and so the prices in this area, the houses that are selling for over $1 million, many of them are just 700 square feet, little.
And they're just cranking up the rent, right?
Yep.
And that's the main reason why we are in solidarity with Measure M, because we must ensure that we have a democratization within the development process and ensure that we have true affordable housing. And that's why we support increasing the inclusionary housing rates. And within our campaign, we have, again, I work as an essential worker, and I also work as an educator for special needs youth.
Wow.
And I have an alternative lens that we need in City Council.
Yeah, so I agree with you completely. Give me a stack of flyers
yeah, of course.
so I can
there you go, friends.
so I can hand them out.
This is one for Yes on M and for our campaign.
Can I get
and
a few just to hand out to
of
my
course,
friends
friend.
also? Great.
So, here it is.
I'm going to pass these out to my neighbors.
Oh, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you so much, Hector.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Very nice to meet you in person.
Yes, likewise to you too, friend. Gracias.
All right. Well, good luck.
Well, thank you so much for your vote. Thank you so much for your support, and it means the world to me. So let's thank me.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, friend. Appreciate you.